Hello friends, this is Julie Norman, and I put out planner and planner related videos every Tuesday and Friday. Welcome back. I'm so glad you stopped by so we can spend some more time together. And I'm going to move my August planner out because I have put my notes for this video in it. So I am going to put that aside. So let's see if we can see it. Anyways, don't let that distract you. So the content of this video is talking about Silk and Sonder planner. And one thing that I see a lot of people on the Facebook group say is that they get the planner, they get so excited about it, they think it's going to solve all the problems that they have in life. Just, that's a lot of expectations for a planner. But then they get it and they say, I feel really overwhelmed. What do I need to do? How do I start? Or at the end of the month, they say, I didn't make this work. This is, it took me a couple months to get into this and to know how to do it. So let's go into that so you don't feel overwhelmed and start like that, because your planner should not bring you guilt, shame, overwhelming. This should be something, this is a self-care planner, and it is made for you to use. And so without further ado, let's talk about this. Now, to just go through again of what this planner is there are calendar pages, there are reflections, there's trackers. They always have a few different journaling prompts that you can put a list of what you're thankful. I changed mine into a mileage log, which you can see I've made hardly any use of. And there are various activities. This was my to-do list that used to be, and I think that was the expense tracker. So as you can see, I have transformed some of the categories into other things. There is usually a coloring page and recipes. There's some nice quotes. And then you get to the dailies. So you have a setup for the week, and you have your week pages, and then you have note pages. And that happens for every week of the month. So then you go, and not only that, but you can see that on this week setup, you have what I'm going to do this week. I want to feel this way. Here are my the major three goals for this week. More habit tracking. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meal plan, mind, body, and health plan, my shopping list, and here's some great food memory and song. Then on the daily pages for every day, you have one thing you want to do, you have a weather tracker, and you have a vertical column for your planning. So that I can see where you could get a little overwhelmed on feeling like, I have to fill everything out. What am I going to track? Not only do I have the habit trackers in the front, I did a pain tracker. This is usually a mood tracker, and then you have this, all these other things to track. And then not only that, but then I have to track more stuff every week here. And then, okay, slow down. Let's not get started. I get a little stressed out thinking that too. So this actually can feel like a lot when you open it up and figure out that, I don't know if I have all the time to do all that. So here's the thing. You don't have to fill out everything. Let me repeat that. You don't have to fill out everything in this planner or any planner that you use. No one is grading you on this except maybe you. There is no fail. There is no pass. There is only the journal. Maybe I'm sounding like a Jedi Knight here. However, the point is that this is for your self-care. So if you don't want to track your meal plan, don't, Maybe you want to just block it out, put a pretty picture on it, go ahead. If you don't want to use these extra habit trackers, don't do it. Make it something else. In one of my journals, I tracked all the colors of the vegetables and fruit that I ate in a day, and I just colored in. It was kind of fun, but and in the end, it's like just another tedious thing to do. But if you don't want to do this, which I've only done this once, don't do it. Just next week, if you feel like you want to do the meal plan, you can do it, but you don't have to do it this week, for example. You don't have to do it all. You choose what sparks joy in you. Like Marie Kondo, I think almost everybody knows who that is. If something doesn't spark joy in you, then don't do it. If it's not exciting, if it makes you go, ugh, feel like it just makes you feel icky, or it makes you feel stressed, then skip it. There's no obligation here. If you are looking through this and say, I hate word searches, what do? tear it out, throw it away. So if you don't like coloring pages, don't color. I've only colored once, and that I use stickers to color. That is in a previous video as well. So you just don't worry. You don't have to be creative. If you don't like something, you don't have to come up with a creative way to repurpose it. You can just ignore it or discard it. There, in these journals, they have this nice spiral bound. It's easy to tear pages out. So you can certainly do that if you would like to. So go through here, go through your journal when you get it. Here, let me show you this one. I have actually made my August one into a content planner for this video channel. And so I would say, if when you get this, figure out, go through it, and if you want to try the Marie Kondo and say, put your hand on it and say, does this spark joy? Does, you know, and you go to, does the intention spark joy, or do they make you feel like overwhelmed? Do they make you feel, you know, icky? Or do they make you feel like, oh yes, I can't wait to do this? Then you will know what works. This one I left unadulterated, unedited, because I really thought, oh, this looks like fun. I can't wait to fill out those little boxes. So that is what I would encourage you to do, is page through the planner, put your hand on it, think about it, read it, and say, does this spark joy in me? Or does it feel like an obligation? Does it feel like more work? Because the whole point of this planner is to be a self-care planner. So you can purpose pages if you'd like. There are a lot of ideas, such as sometimes people will use the habit trackers. This was a tracker, and I turned it into a bingo. Look how successful I was in that. Here's my wheel of life. Like this one, the mood tracker, I turned it into a pain tracker because I've been having a lot of autoimmune stuff. So there are ways to repurpose things that you can, or if you don't wish to, don't do it. Cover it up and make it your own. If there's pretty pictures or things in magazines or whatever that you want to cover up, go ahead and do that too. So here's another other ideas, is that in the expense tracker, which I have referred to making it into something else, it's in here somewhere, that you can make it into your order tracker. Because we are at home now, a lot of us are doing online orders. Just mark what date you ordered something and what it was. I think this is where the order tracker was, or somewhere like that. Aha, here it is. So you can put your date here, your where it's from, and then when it's expected to be delivered. You can even track how much money it costs, and so you can have a good tracking for that as well. That's one idea. But you can also just say, nah, that's not even an interest to me. And don't worry, next month you'll get another one. And if you want to try it next month, you can. Or do it partially. If it doesn't work for you, then stop. And also, in all of these things in the front, all of these different prompts, you don't have to do them all at once. You don't have to do it before the month starts. Maybe, you just have a spare moment at some time, and you just say, well, right now I'm going to take some time, and I'm going to just, write out my ideal life. And go ahead and maybe, like me, I sat and thought about this for a few times, and I just couldn't get to it. And maybe I can do it, maybe the next month. I feel like, oh, I think I'd like to do that, and do it later, or not at all. So you have to decide what you really want to do and what you don't want to do. You don't have to do it all. Just like in life, you don't have to do it all. Now, if you are still feeling overwhelmed with all of these things, here's another bit of advice. Get the Sonder Kids book. What I like about the Sonder Kids, I will link in the card above what it looks like just out of the box. This is this month's empathy. It is really simple. You have senses here, and you don't have to have a certain month. So say you get it and the month goes by and you didn't really use it, you can just use it in the next month. You have a vision board. I've started mine. Empathy list, journal. These are a lot simpler questions than the adult version. So when I'm scared, I can. When someone is angry, I can. When someone is sad, blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot simpler. And yeah, it is for kids, but it's okay to be a kid at heart. Here's the coloring page is much easier. You can color different things, word search. Coloring page is a lot easier than the adults. A noticing game. So these are more light-hearted. The recipe is also much simpler. Doodles, who doesn't like to doodle? You can learn about some kids. And your days. The days are a lot simpler as well. You don't have the week set up. You just have my days. And I was trying to figure this out. But you have 5 regular days, and then you have my weekend. So you can do the weather. You can say, this is this day. Today I felt, and you have emoticons, whatever, emojis, sorry. Oops, I just got nail polish. Oh, well. Something that made me smile. So this is so much simpler. There's not as many trackers on this one. And free space. You can just jot down notes. So I would encourage you, if you are feeling overwhelmed, you can do this. You can still track things, because it does have a habit tracker. There are only 4, as opposed to the regular one, which I think is 7. Let me count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 3 less habits that you can track, and it doesn't have a habit tracker because they don't have a week set up. And you also still have a dot grid in between your weeks. So another thing you can do is, you say you can do it one day, and the next day you don't have time. Since it's not dated, you can just do it as you will, and this could potentially last you longer than a month, depending on your schedule. So there's a lot less pressure in the kids, and it's kind of fun because you have feelings, affirmations. So if this feels good, then it feels like more self-care than the other one. You could do this, do it alongside of, do it, or do it instead of. So I will have a code for 25% off your first order. I wish I had a code for people who have already ordered, but I don't. But if you are interested in this, you will get 25% off. I do get a little bit back too, but hey, we both win that way, so why not? It's a better discount, I think, than Silk and Sonder gives. So those are some ideas. You don't have to do it all. Make it your own. Try the kids if you still feel overwhelmed. There's no guilt here. If you feel like doing the kids, there's no shame. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't even have to tell me, although I would be interested if you try it and you want to. You can tell me. You are in charge of your self-care planner. You are in control to decide how little or how much you are going to do. Then, once you decide, don't feel any guilt. You didn't fill all this out. You can see I didn't fill it all out. Don't feel guilty. Just use what you can, and whatever you can't, no big deal. There's always something new every month. That's what's nice about this, is that it's new every month. The old is gone and the new has come. So these are just some ideas. And Silk and Sonder is a wonderful self-care planner. And there are no perfect planners. There are planners that we really love to use, but there is no perfect planner. So even though there is a planner perfect, they're not perfect either. It's just how you utilize these, and just make sure that you're using them with joy, with good, the intentions, and no guilt, no shame. So I enjoyed chatting with you with this today. Please let me know what you think. Do you feel overwhelmed with this? Have you tried them? Would you try the kids, or do you modify them? I love to hear ideas, and I'm sure that the other people, readers or watchers, would as well. And I will hope that you will subscribe so we can spend more time together next time. And thank you so much for coming, and have a joyful day. Thank you. Goodbye.